Hello, everybody. I have to get up, feed my dogs, let them out, and I should be ready to read the Bible. OJ. There's my glasses. My glasses are here somewhere. And that fan about to blow me away. Oh, man. Oh. Have you ever woke up and like the middle of your back, like right here, is just like cramping up, like in pain? Like, can we not? Oh man. Oh no, look. I'll start back. Basketball. I think I've got my other Bible yet. I think it's at Mom's house. Oh man. I still got my purple one. Oh. I've already been live for 2 minutes. Get out of here. What am I looking for? I don't know where my jacket went. I want to brush my hair really quick because I just woke up. Make sure my part is fine. Oscar boy. Nice boy. I figured he'd be beside me. You go outside? Ugh. I know I said I'm going to read the Bible, and I am, but I want to flat iron my hair. Like, this might as well be a get ready with me reading the Bible. My back still has like that crampy feeling, like straining. I don't know why. Yeah, this is normally how my hair usually looks, like with the red. And then I think because I went swimming and then washing my hair a lot, it's just been going out. So now it looks like blondish at the end. And of course that's my real hair color right here. Which I'm glad my hair is growing out really fast. Like, it's a good way to find out if your hair is growing. Like, really quick, I guess. I use a Remington flat iron, and it's small, so it gets like in every little spot. I've used some of the bigger ones, like the bigger, wider ones, and I just don't like them. And they're good until you have to get like up here. Okay, it's on orange. We're good to go. I usually always start like right here for some reason. It's just an easier spot, I guess. I went red because red is my favorite color, red and black. But I've dyed my hair black before, and it was so hard to get out of my hair. So I went red once at like 11 or 12 years old, and then the older I got, I realized red was really my color. Like, it's just something I always went back to. So I really like when I have red hair. Plus, I wanted to change. Like, you keep looking at yourself all the time, and it's normal. Like, it's not different, so you want to try something different. It's kind of like when you decide to cut your hair, except you just color it instead. And I'm trying to grow my hair out, so I didn't want to cut it or try something different. I stay in a camper on my mom's property, but I can like walk to her house. And then my brother lives beside me in a camper, so we're all kind of like right there, all kind of tight knit family, I guess. But I do pay her for water because I'll go over there and take a shower or whatever because my camper does not have any running water. It used to, but the pipe busted when we had a really bad winter here. And then, of course, I have my own electricity pole and everything. So I have my own electricity here. And I have Wi-Fi here. It's still a wonderful thing, owning a room for yourself alone. Oh yeah, definitely. I actually found this camper on Facebook for $600. And obviously it was like run down, it has a lot of issues. But 600 is not bad for a camper. And then when you just start renovating it yourself, like if you have a job, start kind of fixing things, renovating things, and it'll be good for you. because my mom ended up buying it for me, and I cleaned it out when I didn't have any electricity or anything in here, and it was hot. It gets so hot in a camper, or so cold. It depends on how good the insulation is. But I lived in this camper now for probably about 3 years altogether. And plus, right now, the rent is so high with apartments that it's crazy. At some point, everyone is going to have a camper or a trailer somewhere. Probably on their parents' property, because their rent is insane. It's like $1,000. I am from Mississippi. And right now, the rent is a little cray-cray down here. It's like $1,000 a month. It's like, what? Do you think people can afford that? Get out of here. Let me see if I can kind of get up here towards the top. I woke up really, really late today. And I hate that I wake up late. But I had terrible sleep last night. It was terrible. Like, I woke up at like 2:30, and then I woke up about 4 something, and then I went back to sleep, and then I woke up at 6 something. My dog was whining, wanted to go outside. I let her out and all this other stuff. I got her back in, and then I tried to go back to sleep, and then I got up around 7:30, and then I just tried to go back to sleep again, and then I woke up at whatever time it is right now. Well, I mean, I've been live for about 12 minutes, so I got up about 10:30, 10:40, somewhere up in there. And I hate sleeping in that late, but I had the worst sleep. Look, okay, I have a sound machine that makes like white noise, and I used to keep it like close to me where I can't hear anything because I'm a light sleeper. And I ended up moving it like in the middle of my camper, just like somewhat in the middle, like in the kitchen area. And no, I gotta bring it back in here tonight because I can't do another night of that. I have had 2 nights of not being able to sleep, and it's just terrible. So I'm gonna bring my my thing back in here, the sound machine. Oh, my hair is done. I'm really trying to grow my hair out. I like having long hair, but I also like having short hair, so it's kind of like... But, I've got my Bible. I'm ready to read it. Whenever. But I'm probably going to let my dogs in and all that good stuff. And then we shall see. We shall see. Ugh. I don't even have anything to eat over here. Ugh. Well. I don't know what I want to do right now. I think I'm gonna let in my dogs. That sounds right. Be right back. Basketball. treat? Come on, Oscar. You want a treat? Oscar boy. I see you. Come on. Oscar. Come on. And treat. Come on, Oscar. He's being stubborn. That's what I thought to you. Right. Give Ziggy a treat. Come on, get your bed. I'll give you a treat. Come on. Get your bed. Get your bed. Ugh. Whoops. Oh man. Okay. Bible time. Okay. Trying to figure out where I was before. I thought I was on the point where they quit calling him Abram and went to Abraham. Let me go back one. Okay, I was on chapter 18 of Genesis. Is where I was. So this is chapter 18 in Genesis. The son of promise. Then the Lord appeared to him by the terebinth trees of Mamre, whatever you call it, as he was sitting in the tent door in the heat of the day. So he lifted his eyes and looked, and behold, 3 men were standing by him. And when he saw them, he ran from the tent door to meet them, and bowed himself to the ground, and said, My Lord, if I have now found favor in your sight, do not pass on by your servant. Please let a little water be brought, and wash your feet, and rest yourselves under the tree. And I will bring a morsel of bread, that you may refresh your hearts. After that you may pass by, inasmuch as you have come to your servant. They said, Do as you have said. So Abraham hurried into the tent to Sarah, and said quickly, Make ready 3 measures of fine meal, knead it, and make cakes. And Abraham ran to the herd, took a tender and a good calf, gave it to a young man, and he hastened to prepare it. So he took butter and milk from the calf which he had prepared, and set it before them. And he stood by them underneath the tree as they ate. Then they said to him, Where is Sarah, your wife? So he said, Here, in the tent. And he said, I will certainly return to you according to the time of life, and behold, Sarah your wife shall have a son. Sarah was listening in the tent door, which was behind him. Now Abraham and Sarah were old, well advanced in age, and Sarah had passed the age of childbearing. Therefore Sarah laughed within herself, saying, After I have grown old, shall I have pleasure, my Lord being old also? And the Lord said to Abraham, Why did Sarah laugh, saying, Shall I surely bear a child since I am old? Is anything too hard for the Lord? At the appointed time I will return to you according to the time of life, and Sarah will have a son. But Sarah denied it, saying, I did not laugh, for she was afraid. And he said, No, but you did laugh. Lying to God. Girl, he sees everything. He hears everything. Lying. Alright, Abraham intercedes for Sodom. What is this? Got here. Abraham intercedes for Sodom. So this is chapter 16 for me, and chapter 18. Then the men rose from there and looked toward Sodom, and Abraham went with them to send them on the way. And the Lord said, Shall I hide from Abraham what I am doing, since Abraham shall surely become a great and mighty nation, and all the nations of the earth shall be blessed in him? For I have known him, in order that he may command his children and his household after him, that they keep the way of the Lord, to do righteousness and justice, that the Lord may bring to Abraham what he has spoken to him. And the Lord said, Because the outcry against Sodom and Gomorrah is great, and because their sin is very grave, I will go down now and see whether they have done altogether according to the outcry against it that has come to me, and if not, I will know. Then the men turned away from there and went toward Sodom. But Abraham still stood there before the Lord, and Abraham came near and said, Would you also destroy the righteous with the wicked? Suppose there were 50 righteous within the city. Would you also destroy the place, and not spare it for the 50 righteous that are in it? Far be it from you to do such a thing as this, to slay the righteous with the wicked, so that the righteous shall be... I lost my spot, and I don't know where... Okay. To slay the righteous with the wicked, so that the righteous should be as the wicked. Far be it from you. Shall not the judge of all the earth do right? So the Lord said, If I find in Sodom 50 righteous within the city, then I will spare all the place for their sakes. Then Abraham answered and said, Indeed now, I who am but dust and ashes, have taken it upon myself to speak to the Lord. Suppose there are 5 less than 50 righteous. Would you destroy all the city for lack of 5? So he said, If I find there 45, I will not destroy it. And he spoke to him yet again and said, Suppose there should only be 40 found there. So he said, I will not do it for the sake of 40. Then he said, Let not the Lord be angry, and I will speak. Suppose 30 should be found there. So he said, I will not do it if I find 30 there. And he said, Indeed now, I have taken it upon myself to speak to the Lord. Suppose 20 should be found there. And he said, I will not destroy it for the sake of 20. Then he said, Let the Lord not be angry, and I will speak but once more. Suppose 10 should be found there. And he said, I will not destroy it for the sake of 10. So the Lord went his way as soon as he had finished speaking with Abraham, and Abraham returned to his place. Wow. So he's really questioning the Lord there. So if there's 50, you won't destroy it? If there's 45, you won't destroy it? What about 40? 35. Like, come on. Get real. Alright. Oh, man. Sodom's depravity? Chapter 19 of Genesis. Now the two angels came from Sodom in the evening, and Lot was sitting in the gate of Sodom. When Lot saw them, he rose to meet them, and he bowed himself with his face toward the ground, and he said, Hear now, my lords, please turn in your servant's house, and spend the night, and wash your feet, then you may rise early and go on your way. And they said, No, but we will spend the night in the open square. But he insisted strongly, so they turned in to him and entered his house. Then he made them a feast and baked unleavened bread, and they ate. Now, before they lay down, the men of the city, the men of Sodom, both young and old, all the people from every quarter surrounded the house, and they called to Lot and said to him, Where are the men who came to you tonight? Bring them out to us, that we may know them carnally. So Lot went out to them through the doorway, shut the door behind him, and said, Please, my brethren, do not be so wickedly. See now, I have 2 daughters who have not known a man. Please, let me bring them out to you, and you may do to them as you wish. What? Hold on a second. Excuse me? Where am I? Oh. Only do nothing to these men, since this is the reason they have come under the shadow of my roof. And they said, Stand back. Then they said, This one came in to stay here, and he keeps acting as a judge. Now we will deal worse with you than with them. So they pressed hard against the man Lot, and came near to break down the door. But the men reached out their hands and pulled Lot into the house with them, and shut the door. And they struck the men who were at the doorway of the house with blindness, both small and great, so they become weary trying to find the door. Wow. That's crazy. Sodom and Gomorrah destroyed. Then the men said to Lot, Have you anyone else here? Son-in-law, your sons, your daughters, and whomever you have in the city, take them out of this place. For we will destroy this place, because the outcry against them has grown great before the face of the Lord, and the Lord has sent us to destroy it. So Lot went out and spoke to his sons-in-law, who had married his daughters, and said, Get up, get out of this place, for the Lord will destroy this city. But to his son-in-law seemed to be joking. When the morning dawned, the angels urged Lot to hurry, saying, Arise, take your wife and your 2 daughters who are here, lest you be consumed in the punishment of the city. And while he lingered, the men took hold of his hand, his wife's hand, and the hands of his 2 daughters, and the Lord being merciful to him, and they brought him out and set him outside the city. So it came to pass, when they had brought them outside, so he said, Escape for your life, do not look behind you, nor stay anywhere in this plain. Escape to the mountains, lest you be destroyed. Then Lot said to them, Please no, my lords, indeed now your servant has found favor in our sight, and you have increased your mercy, which you have shown me by saving my life, but I cannot escape to the mountains, lest some evil overtake me and I die. See now, this city is near enough to flee to, and it is a little one. Please let me escape there. Is it not a little one? And my soul shall live. And he said to them, See, I have favored you concerning this thing also, in that I will not overthrow this city for which you have spoken. Hurry, escape there, for I cannot do anything until you arrive there. I got lost. Okay. Therefore, the name of the city was called Zoar, like Z-O-A-R. I don't know how they pronounce it back then, but it's like Soar, but Zor. It might be Zor. I don't know. The sun had risen upon the earth when Lot entered Zoar. Then the Lord rained brimstone and fire on Sodom and Gomorrah, from the Lord out of the heavens. So he overthrew those cities and the plain and the inhabitants of the cities and what grew on the ground. That's tough. But his wife looked back behind him, and she became a pillar of salt. And Abraham went early in the morning to the place where he had stood before the Lord. Then he looked toward Sodom and Gomorrah, and toward all the land of the plain, and he saw, and behold, the smoke of the land which went up like the smoke of a furnace. And it came to pass, when God destroyed the cities of the plain, and God remembered Abraham, and sent Lot out of the midst of the overthrow, when he overthrew the cities in which Lot had dwelt. The descendants of Lot. Then Lot went up out of Zoar, and dwelt in the mountains, and his 2 daughters were with him, for he was afraid to dwell in Zoar. And he with his 2 daughters dwelt in a cave. Now the firstborn said to the younger one, Our father is old, and there is no man on earth to come in to us, as the custom of all earth. Come, let us make our father... Oh, no. This is going to be a bit much. Come, let us make our father drink wine, and we will lie with him, that we may preserve the lineage of our father. So they made their father drink wine that night, and the firstborn went in and lay with her father, and did not know when she lay down or when she arose. It happened on the next day that the firstborn said to the younger one, Indeed, I lay with father last night. Let us make him drink tonight also, and you go in and lie with him. That way we may preserve the lineage of our father. Then they made their father drink wine that night also, and the younger arose and lay with him. And he did not know when she lay down or when she arose. Thus both of the daughters of Lot were with child by their father. The firstborn bore a son, and called his name Moab. He is the father of the Moabites on this day or something. And the younger, she also bore a son, and called his name Ben-Ammi. He is the father of the people of Ammon to this day. I don't know. Chapter 20. Abraham and Abimelech. And Abraham journeyed from there to the south, and dwelt between Kadesh and Shur, and stayed in Gerar, what do you want to call it? Now Abraham said of Sarah his wife, She is my sister. And Abimelech king... Okay, so he lied and said that was his sister. Okay. And Abimelech king of Gerar sent and took Sarah. But God came to Abimelech in a dream by night, and said to him, Indeed, you are a dead man, because of the woman whom you have taken, for she is a man's wife. But Abimelech did not come near her, and he said, Lord, will you slay a righteous nation also? Did he not say to me, She is my sister? And she even said herself, He is my brother. In the integrity of my heart and innocence of my hands I have done this. And God said to him in a dream, Yes, I know that you did this from integrity of your heart, for I also withheld you from sinning against me. Therefore I did not let you touch her. Now therefore restore the man's wife, for he is a prophet, and he will pray for you, and you shall live. But if you do not restore her, know that you shall surely die, you and all who are yours. So Abimelech rose early in the morning, called all his servants, and told them these things in their hearing. And the men who were very much afraid, and Abimelech called Abraham, and said to him, What have you done to us? How have I offended you, that you have brought on to me, and on my kingdom, a great sin? You have done deeds to me that ought not to be done. Then Abimelech said to Abraham, What did you have in view that you have done this thing? And Abraham said, Because I thought, surely the fear of God is not in this place, and that they will kill me on account of my wife. But indeed she is truly my sister. She is the daughter of my father, but not the daughter of my mother. and she became my wife. And it came to pass, when God caused me to wander from my father's house, that he said to her, This is your kindness, that you should go do for me. In every place, wherever we go, say of me, He is my brother. Then Abimelech took sheep, oxen, and male and female servants, and gave them to Abraham, and he restored Sarah, his wife, to him. And Abimelech said, See, my land is before you. Dwell where it pleases you. Then to Sarah he said, Behold, I have given your brother 1,000 pieces of silver. Indeed, this vindicates you before all who are with you and before everybody. Thus she has rebuked. So Abraham prayed to God, and God healed Abimelech his wife and his female servants. Then they bore children, for the Lord had closed up all the wombs of the house of Abimelech because of Sarah, Abraham's wife. Wow, that's tough, let me tell you. That's a lot. So now I'm on chapter 21. I don't know if I want to read any more. I don't want to do it too long like I usually do. That way people will watch it. Because I know when I do too long of videos, I don't think people watch them. But I don't really have anything else to do. So. But yeah. But I'm on chapter 21. I gotta remind myself to read chapter 21 next time I do this. So far, this looks so bad, but this is literally all I've read. Let me show you. This, if I can get it, that right there, that, I'm on 21 chapters of Genesis. And this whole book. So yeah, I'll get ready, because I'm going to read the whole Bible. I have been telling myself to read this entire Bible for a long, long time. And I have only read, I've only read stories here and there. Like just kind of looking around in the Bible, rather than actually reading it word for word. What happened back in the day? Were some of the questions answered? I want to know. So I'm going to read this Bible. But definitely come back. I don't know when I'll do another one. Just kind of, I guess whenever I feel like the Bible, you know. Because I'm not going to lie, the Bible is something I don't want to read all the time or every day. It's not. That sounds sad, but I guarantee you, just about anybody will tell you that. It does get boring sometimes, and it doesn't really get interesting sometimes. And then other times you're like, oh my gosh, did that really happen? Oh my gosh. But this whole book has been translated so much. If we believe a history book, word for word in school, why can't we believe this word for word outside of school? This is literally a history book that tells you right from wrong and how you should live. And we're not reading it. Let that sink in. You read a history book and believe it word for word without actually being there. But you don't believe this, and you weren't even there for this. That has helped me believe this more, because I read history books and believe every word I see about, you know, the Holocaust and about all of these really old school, like World War stuff. And I believe all of that, like 100%. But I have trouble believing this 100%. Why is that? Because this is more religious, and textbooks in school aren't. It's crazy to think about. It's crazy. But you know what? If you really work hard to believe this and understand it, you will. Because I have went through so much in my life that most of the time the only thing that's ever helped me is my mom, my family, and God. Because I prayed to him almost every night growing up. Even to this, well, I quit praying for a long time. I mean, let's be honest. I quit praying for a long time because I just didn't really go to church anymore, and I just fell away from the whole faith thing. I did my own thing. I was just living, okay? And I had a lot of things going on, relationship-wise, and it messed with me a lot to the point that I just felt really disconnected from God and who I really was, you know? And then one day out of nowhere, Mom just comes over to my camper and she's like, hey, I got this really cool church you should go to, like, you want to go with me? And I was like, heck yeah. Like, I was ready. I didn't even have to think twice on going to church. I love church and I adored church growing up, like when we went to church, you know. And I've done a lock-in at church before where we sleep at the church, and we had hamburgers and all kinds of stuff like that, and I met some really cool people there. I think I was like 15, I think, when that happened. So I mean, I had a lot of fun stuff related to church that was like, yeah, like, you know, I got up there. I was in like a little play that they did at one of our churches. But eventually we left that church, and I didn't go back to church ever since. So now, fast forward like, 7 or 8 years, and now I'm going back to church at a different church, and this church makes me feel like I'm at home. There are so many people there that have given their testimonies on what God has done for them, and it makes you feel less alone. And this is the only church I've ever seen do a recovery group where they help people that were addicted to drugs or anything like that. They help them. They help them get jobs. They help them move on. They help them get a house. They offer them a place to stay. I mean, it's, wow, like, that's awesome, you know? So it's a lot more different than a normal church, and I love it there. I just feel like it's an extra home for me. And when I first went, I just broke. Like, tears everywhere. Like, I was letting go of everything that's happened to me in those years I didn't go to church. Like, you know what I mean? Like, obviously I wasn't bothered back then, but when I actually went to church and I was like, oh my God, I just felt so bad for not going to church growing up, like, you know, whatever. But my mom likes to blame herself for that, but I tell her it's not on her. It's not. That's something I don't want her to blame herself on, because it's not her fault. For one, she was a single mother raising 4 kids. I mean, that's tough. Like, hello, I'm not trying to blame you for not taking me to church. Like, I'm fine, okay, you know? Don't blame yourself on that. That has nothing to do with that. That's just a waste of blame, really. And God wouldn't want, her to blame herself for that. And I forget about that a lot, where I beat myself up a lot for not reading the Bible or not praying enough. It's never about doing enough. Because God wouldn't want me to do that to myself. God would not want me to sit here and pity and blame myself. So I shouldn't do it, but I do it. I think it's just a human thing to do. We are human. We make mistakes. We sin every day. Everybody, Christian or not, sins every day. So, don't ever think that you are more perfect than someone else. Do not ever think that someone has it easier than you. Because they can be covering all that up with smiles and laughs, vacations. But the only person that knows what's happening is God, behind closed doors. We have no idea what situations people are going through. And all we need right now is more positivity and life across this entire planet. Because it's not. Right now, all we have on this planet is hatred, jealousy, envy, greed. I mean, all of these things are in this book right here. Jealousy is in this book, greed is in this book, and it's not good. It never will be. Like, it just won't. If we focus on worldly things, we're not going to get anywhere. If you focus on heavenly things, you'll get somewhere. You'll feel a little more free. A little more, less stressed and worried. I'm not gonna lie, some days I am just stressed for all get out. But at the end of the day, that stress and worry was pointless. Because when I am stressed and worried, I don't go to this. And I should. But I don't. I need to. But I don't. I do things that make time pass faster for me. I just play my games, or I've read other books, just to get something rolling in there, and I've done other things, hung out with family and stuff. But sometimes the family is the best thing for you. And other times, he's eating an oinky. Other times, when I read this book, it just feels like a book. Because it's what it is. It's a book. But it's a book about truth. Humbling yourself. Realizing that you are basically a nobody. You are just somebody on this planet to spread the word of God. If you let that sink in for a minute, everyone on this planet wonders what their purpose is. It's right here in this Bible. We are supposed to be disciples to spread the word of God to everybody that could possibly need a helping hand or a way to live. A truthful, wordly way to live. It's right here. So keep that in mind. I may even have to remind myself of all that. I may have to rewatch this myself. But just remember, he listens. He does. I pray almost every night. Sometimes 5 minutes, sometimes 10, sometimes even just 2 minutes. The sacrificing your time for this makes you feel good. Like, at the time, you're just going to be like, oh no, I want to do this, I want to do that, I want to do this. This book does not come without sacrifice. You must sacrifice some of your time, some of your hobbies, some of your old ways. This book does not come without sacrifice. Remember that. Now I'm going to leave that there. I hope you guys enjoy your day or night, and I pray that you read even just a little bit of this book, this Bible, this truth. It'll help you out, I think, a lot more than anything else will, besides your family or friends. They have to be good friends, not the kind that, that are toxic and fill you with toxic thoughts, because you need to break away from that pattern, because I am trying to do sorry, hey puberty, no, I am trying to break away from the toxic thought patterns that I have, whether it's beating myself up or whatever else. This is one good way to help you, because there are people in this Bible that are really, really important, and they have done unspeakable things. But every sin is just as great as a different sin. So, I think you guys should read it. And I'll leave that there. Enjoy the rest of your day. Bye.